Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services, a leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at donahueaccountingservice.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Huggins.
And I'm Neil Meyer with the Front Office News.
I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
All right, fellas, we are back for another episode. And before we get started, I think we need to send all of our thoughts, love, prayers, everything out to all the people in LA dealing with those fires, man.
Hey.
I don't know if you guys have people out there. I know a lot of people know somebody out there, and it's really, really bad, man. I mean, I don't want to get in this too long, but could you just imagine on a Monday and Tuesday, JT, you're taking your kids to school. Neil, you're going to work. You're on 80 podcasts. You're going on doing different podcasts. And then next thing you know, you lose everything. There's a fire, house burned. Happened to my friend. A complete house burnt down. Lost everything.
Dang, that's crazy.
He texts me. He won't even talk to me on the phone, man. He's so emotional right now.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I'm trying to give him some words and stuff, but he's talk, man. He sent me a picture, bro. It is, man. It's just dang.
Yeah.
And that's our good friend Brandon Sejo out there too, who moved out to LA.
Yep.
He was able to get out in time, but from what social media posts it looks like that fire was only just a couple blocks away from where he's currently staying out there. So it's a scary time out there for sure.
Yeah, it is, man. So
for sure, man. I know some people out there. I need to check in or at least try to scope social media. I got family in San Diego, but it's crazy. That's crazy. And LA is the left coast New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
I was just
a lot of population
out there 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I went on a hike. I got a picture. I went on a hike in Runyon Canyon, which is arguably probably one of the most famous hikes you can go on in LA. Every celebrity, I've seen Justin Bieber, Leonardo DiCaprio, hiking up Runyon Canyon, and it's completely burned down. I can't even get my arms around. Hollywood was on fire.
Dang, that's crazy.
I got some friends that live in North Hollywood. A couple people in those areas, and just they evacuated. One buddy got in a car and just left and drove to Oregon. He said, "I'm out." Yeah, man. It's imagine JT, you have kids. Imagine getting your kids, your wife, getting in the car, driving away, and everything you guys have just burned. It's just
nothing. Yeah, it's crazy.
And heartbreaking for the kids, your kids, and
you got to uproot because whoever is being affected by it, you pretty much, unless you're single, you're gonna have to uproot for a while, for a long time. You know what I mean? So it's a life altering event. You know what I mean? And everybody are creatures of habit, so it's when stuff changes, you know what I mean? People can adapt, but it's still when something that dramatic or drastic happens, it's it's tough, man. Yeah, my heart goes out to those people out there.
Yeah.
You're just doing normal everyday stuff, and then your normal everyday changes. It's nothing you could do about it. It's nothing you did personally, and it just changes, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So hearts go out to everybody out there, man. Trying to move on to a little bit more of a positive note, talk a little sports to kind of get the mind off of it. The Bearcats are currently, well, actually, this isn't a positive thing, but the Bearcats are currently 10-4. After, man, this is one of those things. I feel like this is the last, three games we lost. I feel like I'm saying the same thing. The Bearcats are currently 10-4 after losing to Baylor, 48-68. JT, thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Oh man, it was piss poor, man. And it hurts me to say this. Like, it hurts me because it's one of those things. Like, man, when I watched the game, like I knew about the first timeout. I think UC might have been down like a point or two or something like in the first 4 minutes, but I just could tell like it just didn't look good. Like last time they barely lost to Baylor at Baylor. It's a different team, of course, both sides, but with them having that nugget, that cap under, that nugget of knowledge under their cap, I thought that would, hold a lot of weight. You 0-2 going into the, back against the wall. Baylor just got smoked. You lose at home. Baylor's gonna, they're not going. So you got to match that intensity, and they just didn't, man. It was rough night, man. I guess I won't steal all the thunder, maybe because I know Neil will have some stuff to say as well. But I think Aziz played well, and then I thought Dan had a real good second half. But when you're down 19, even if you do have a nice little half, it takes a village, what I mean, to bring you back when you're down 19. In the Bearcats didn't have a village.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, overall, there's a lot to take away there. Obviously, as JT mentioned, it was basically a kind of a piss poor performance, and Wes Miller even kind of said that himself too. Like they have to be better on all cylinders and phases of this game. But I mean, when you get down 19 to a team like Baylor, it's going to be hard to come back from. But I thought Aziz Bandego played his butt off. I thought that was arguably one of his best performances of the night. I mean, you look down, you see 11 points and just 4 rebounds, but 4 for 4, very 31 minutes. I thought that was probably one of his game offensive rebounding. And this one really played an advantage for Cincinnati in this one, but it's not like this game was without of reach potentially. They held Baylor to multiple times during this game of a 3-minute scoring drought, a 4-minute scoring drought. The offense just wasn't able to get going, but I thought Aziz Bandego played very well. I loved what I saw from Dan Skillings in the second half. I mean, you look down and you see he finishes with a team high 18 points, 6 of 11. What I really like about Dan Skillings' performance was 5 or 7 from behind the arc. I mean, if anybody really would have guessed that Dan Skillings would be this team's leading 3-point shooter in conference play, would have been kind of surprised, especially with the likes of Simas Lukosius, Jizzle James, Day Thomas, Tyler Betsy, those kind of guys there. People weren't really expecting Dan Skillings to come in and be your leading 3-point shooter, and everybody knew what the potential was like if Dan was able to knock down some shots from the outside. But to see him go 5 from 7 from behind the arc, that's a huge step in the right direction from Cincinnati. But outside of that, there was really no offense for the Bearcats, essentially. I mean, you look down, you get 0 points from Dylan Mitchell. I don't think anybody could have really predicted that, and just 2 rebounds. When you think about Cincinnati and you picture this basketball team, not many people would have pictured your number 1 impact transfer and arguably one of your best players and Dylan Mitchell to be held just basically to non-existent with the 2 rebounds there. Not many people would have expected that. But Baylor did a great job in this game, really switching things up. They switched everything on offense. They had guys guarding the 1 through 5. They had a point guard down there on Aziz Bandego at times. I would have loved to see Cincinnati pound the ball inside and take advantage of those matchups, but unfortunately, with how things planned out, they just weren't able to do that. But still in this game, it was when you're on the road in an environment like that, trailing by 19, it's going to be hard to come back from. It really is, and everybody knows that. But Cincinnati just had no answer for guys like Norchad Omier, who finished with his 78th double-double of his career. Think about that. That's a crazy stat right there. He finished with 18 and 10. VJ Edgecombe looked like a top 5 draft pick on Tuesday night. 7 of 13, 18 points. I thought he was really well, but Cincinnati just got beaten every phase of the game come Tuesday night. So for them, you can't get into these slow starts, and if you do that on the road, especially, it's going to be hard to win games.
Fellas, our offense is just bad.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Offense right now is really bad, and we've got to figure something out quickly.
Yeah.
And JT, I was thinking, it's like, okay, I can sit here and say the offense looks really bad. Well, what are the ways to fix it? What's a resolution? I'm not there every day with the team. Wes is. He's got a very good staff. They'll figure it out. But one thing that I saw and I've been thinking about is, some of these guys are starting to lose their confidence, right? They're starting to question themselves and what they should do on the court. That's natural when you struggle, different facets of the game. So my thought was, let's try to play a little faster. Mm-hmm. Let's try to play fast and get that swag back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've got the talent, and that's all we really need is to get that swag, that bounce back. Thoughts on that, JT?
No, for sure, 100%. They do gotta get some quicker shots, not like bad quick shots, but just like push the pace. All right, if it's not there, okay, kick it. Start the offense. But if y'all can get an easy shot, y'all play off each other. These guys are legit D1 athletes, so they know how to play off of each other. You know what I mean? Yep. They've been practicing. They know how to play. You've seen it at times, so it's in there. But I think they do have to, besides walking it up, push the pace and just go with it. And I think that's going to help you get, you get a couple layups, you know what I mean, or a couple shots to go in. Now, when you're running the offense, it's just going to go a little smoother for you. So, they definitely got to push the pace. I think our pace of play is very one of the slowest right now. I think it's like the 35 percentile or something. One of the slowest. I think they're like in the hundreds.
Wow.
I think we looked at that today at the presser. So I think they're like 111 or something out of how many teams are in college in the D1 thing.
Yeah. Well, it's tough sometimes. Like, you want to fix the issue and you want to try to do different things.
Yeah.
Well, you're about to play Kansas, and that's not easy to, right? It's not easy to try things against a team as talented as Kansas. But we talked about this, last podcast, Neil, and that is the dangers of going 0-4 in conference play. And we're right there. We're right on the edge of, if we don't play well Saturday and get our offense going, Neil, we're going to be 0-4.
Yeah, and could be 0-4 heading into a Colorado team who is also a very good Colorado team. And everyone who thinks about this Big 12 schedule, they're like, okay, Colorado, first year in the Big 12, we should beat them, but it's the Big 12. You can't guarantee a win in this league. But on top of it, the dangers of going 0-4 is real right now for Cincinnati. And we talk about the confidence. They have to find a way to get that confidence, that swagger back heading into Kansas. I mean, this is the first time Kansas is coming into Fifth Third Arena, especially since being in the Big 12. So, I mean, on top of it, you have a national powerhouse coming in here. You want to show them what Cincinnati is about, but they got to find that swagger real quick. Because if not, it could be a long day on Saturday for Cincinnati fans. If not, but they got to find that swagger back. When this team has the swagger, they have the fan support behind them. Everybody knows what this team is capable of. But something's got to click real soon, or else they could be in potential sitting back to a potential bubble right now. And everyone, this was a team that we all talked about. I know all three of us have said this team is capable of going to an Elite Eight, a Final Four, Sweet 16. Well, starting 0-4, I don't think any of us predicted that in conference play. So they got to get things right heading into Kansas, or else things might be you might be on the outside looking in, and some games that could come down and really haunt the Bearcats come March.
And I'm excited, fellas, because this first part of our podcast that we've always done, where we recap the last game, very soon it will be sponsored. We have a new sponsor that's coming in. I'm excited about that. Fellas, great work. Keep getting these sponsors in, man. Love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this Saturday at 8 p.m., the Bearcats take on Kansas at the beautiful Fifth Third Arena. Now, it is wear white, correct?
Correct.
The Kansas game.
Is
right?
it? Hey, I need to look.
Yes, it's a whiteout.
I think it's a whiteout. Yes. white out for the Kansas game. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now let's jump into the Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch and key matchups. JT, who you're expecting a big game from?
All right, so I'm gonna roll with CMOS Coaches, man. I think he's due. He's overdue.
Woo, he's overdue.
He's overdue. Like, so we playing. You know what I mean? I don't know, blind. We playing blind right now, so we just going for it.
JT, you're usually really good at picking, so I hope you're right because we need CMOS to play well.
I hope so too, but I feel like he's due to break out of his slump. I think he's going to have a good game. I think he's going to be able to, impact, get a few assists, get a few rebounds. But I think him scoring in multiple levels. I think teams are jumping him on that picker, like on that kick out. They want him to drive, but I think he has to invite it essentially and go to the hole. He's 6'8", 6'7", solid built kid, so young man. So go to the hole, and if you can get a free shot, go to the hole, go to score, and if it's there for the alley-oop, out throw that oop. You know what I mean? But I think he has to go midi, go to the hole, lay it up, or go with a vengeance. I think his three will start falling once he takes what people are trying to give him is that mid-range shot, because he can shoot that shot. I mean against Xavier, I think that's when he kind of got out of his slump, or was that Dayton, one of the teams, but my bad. But he can do it. So I just think like it's time for him to get his double digits, and I wouldn't mind to see him go off for like 25, go like later in the year. Last year, CMOS where he might hit a 30. You know what I mean? So, but I think between 17 and 22, like I just think he's going to have one of those games where he hits a few threes. Fifth third is going to get rocking, playing against a big team. And, I think he's going to ride that wave and snap out of it. And I think everybody will be happy, on Saturday if they see CMOS. If I'm right about CMOS, then I think everybody will be happy on Saturday.
He's too talented to be in a slump like this for too long.
Yeah.
And I would agree with JT. And I think you knock down a couple threes, Fifth Third Arena gets rocking, he'll get his swag back.
Yeah.
We'll start to see the CMOS that we saw early in the season. Neil, your thoughts?
Yeah, for this game, the player to watch for me for Cincinnati is I'm going to go with Jizzle James. I think this is going to be a bounce-back game for Jizzle James because on top of it, everybody has kind of talked about, he's in this shooting slump. He hasn't performed like what people have thought he would have done this season. And the reason I say Jizzle James is because Kansas has so many good point guards on this roster that somebody from Cincinnati is going to have to step up, whether that's Day Thomas or Jizzle James. But I feel like this could be a big bounce-back opportunity for Jizzle James. I know we have said that in recent shows, but the reason I say that is because Wes Miller noted in his press conference today that they got in, well, anybody who knows and follows the program like we do, they actually had some flight issues coming back from Waco, Texas, so they didn't get in until yesterday afternoon. But who was the first guy in the gym this morning? Jizzle James. And Wes Miller even noted in his press conference that for it being January, Jizzle James was in the gym this morning in a full sweat, getting a workout in, and then knowing that they had a 2-hour practice this afternoon, he was like, well, he was in the gym this morning putting up a good sweat, more than I would like him to for it being January, knowing the gauntlet of the schedule. But if there's anybody I would rather go to war with and take it on the chin with, it's Jizzle James, because that's the kind of competitor he is. So I think this is a big bounce-back opportunity for Jizzle James. He knows what's at stake with this one. He knows he has to perform a little bit better for this team to succeed, and I think he sees that, especially as a 19-year-old kid, a younger guy, still trying to find his way in college basketball a little bit. To see him putting in that work ethic, especially in a tough stretch right now, you don't see very often in college basketball. So I think my impact player for the Bearcats in this one will be Jizzle James.
You know what's so interesting about this team is you've got so many kids. You got so many young men and players that are talented. It's very rare that you have so many of them struggling at the same time, right? You look at Jizzle, you look at CMOS, Dylan Mitchell had 0 points. Like, they're all struggling at the same time, which tells me they're still trying to figure some things out. My hope now is usually you see maybe one guy struggle and then another guy may struggle another game, but not all at the same time. So my hope is that they turn a corner against Kansas and people are all balling at the same time. And if that's the case, watch out. Neil, talk to us a little bit about Kansas.
Yeah, this is a Kansas team where, I mean, you look down on paper and you're like, shoot, some of these guys are still playing in college basketball. I mean, you look down at their roster, 3 of their top players are using their 6th year in college basketball. Hunter Dickinson, DeJuan Harris, and KJ Adams, I feel like they have been around college basketball since I graduated high school. Yeah. So overall, I mean, those 3 guys, I mean, those are Kansas's key players right there. I mean, Hunter Dickinson's arguably the best player within the Big 12. Everybody kind of knows that. There was a reason he was voted the preseason player of the year. He's averaging nearly 16 points a game, averaging 10 rebounds, a double-double. You know what he's going to present. I mean, that's going to be the matchup to watch there. Hunter Dickinson versus East Bandago. It's going to get interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Cincinnati defends that. Do they want to sag off on defense and bring another guy there that can really help and double Hunter Dickinson? We saw it last year in the tournament, and it played to their advantage. Do we see them take that route again this year? Could be interesting. But the KJ Adams and the Dylan Mitchell or the Dan Skillings matchup, whichever one of those 2 draws the KJ Adams assignment, I think that's going to be the most exciting for me because say it is Dylan Mitchell, they're both the same player. Both about the same 6'7", 6'8" forward who can go get you a bucket when you need to, but can alter the game on the glass with their athleticism. They can do everything. They can guard 1 through 5, and I think that's going to be something that really plays to their advantage. But Kansas has led. Their point guards are unbelievable. And, I mean, DeJuan Harris, I mean, he has been one of the best facilitators in all of college basketball for the last 3 or 4 years, it feels like. I mean, he leads the team 78 assists, and the next closest guy on the team has 40 in Zeke Mayo. So, I mean, anytime you're facilitating an offense like that and you have nearly 80 assists and your next guy has only half of what you have in the assist category, means you're a pretty solid point guard to say the least, but their guard play is going to be it. I mean, you look down, Wes Miller even complimented them earlier in a day of transfer portal, NIL, all that kind of aspect. This thing that this Kansas team has that they haven't had in years past has been depth. And, I mean, you look at their depth right now. I mean, Zeke Mayo came from South Dakota State. They add Rylan Griffin, who came from Alabama last season, who was Alabama's leading scorer at one point. And then he comes to Kansas, and he's now Kansas's 5th leading scorer on the team. So, I mean, when you have a leading scorer for an Elite 8 team in Alabama that comes to a team in the Big 12, who is just kind of a role player now, he's not even starting, it definitely kind of shows the depth that Kansas has. I mean, A.J. Storr was Wisconsin's leading scorer a year ago. Now they're at Kansas as well. So it's interesting. Kansas has a lot of talent. They do a lot of things well. They can really defend the ball. They're holding teams just to 62 points a game. It's going to be interesting. But another thing that stands out is they're very physical in the front court. Flory Badunga leads the team in 17 block shot, or second on the team, 17 in block shots, right there behind Hunter Dickinson. And if there's anything the Bearcats know, it's they know very, very well about what Flory Badunga has to offer because they recruited him so hard coming out of high school. So this is a matchup that's not going to be easy for Cincinnati. So there's going to be a lot of takeaways, but they're going to have to defend like how they defended in the Big 12 tournament when they blew out Kansas by 20, to say the least.
All right, you know what time it is? It is time for everyone's favorite, the name game with Neil Meyer. Get the dance going, Neil. Hey, 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 hey. All right, that's the name game. This is where we challenge Neil Meyer to say the names of some of these college basketball players from either the roster of the team we're playing, or sometimes I like to flip the script and grab another team's roster from another team across the country, somebody we don't necessarily play. So for this podcast, Neil, we're going to look at Washington State. Let me know when you're ready. pull up Washington State, and we're going to start with. And listen, let me preface while you pull up the roster. Let me preface this with some of these names aren't necessarily just like wild names. Like we've had some wild names. We all know that. Some of them are just kind of unique. Some of them are actually kind of cool. Some of them are a little wacky. So let's start, Neil, with number 5.
Number 5 is Thomas Thrastarson.
Ooh, that's actually like a superhero name. Say that last name one more time.
Thrastarson.
Thrastarson. I like that. Number 8, Kobe.
Number 8 is Nate Kalmisi.
Yeah, I thought the last name was unique. All right, number 10.
Number 10 is Parker Garrett.
Oh, that was easy. Number 15.
Number 15 is Rehards Ververs.
Say it one more time and be careful, okay? Be careful.
Rehards the Bears.
Number 21.
Tayon Sessoms.
Say the last name again, please.
Sessoms. Hey, you guys are awful people.
Oh, that's JT, man. JT, you're wrong.
I ain't do the research on this.
I picked the right team though. I picked some good ones. Number 22.
ND Okafor.
And tell JT how his first name is spelled.
ND.
Hey, JT, it is capital N and capital D.
Hey, that's got to be initials, man, right?
Oh.
Hey, that's wrong. If his name is
Wait,
really
let's see if we can click it and see if it'll give us the full name.
Hey.
He is from actually he's from Ireland.
Okay, so
his full first name is Ndun Wawane.
Ooh. Damn.
It's NDONWAWANNE.
I was hoping it was just purely ND. That'd have been fire, though.
That's
that'd have been so fire.
I see why he goes by ND now.
We're gonna call you ND, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Like, hey, you good?
Number 33.
Number 33 is Dmitry Vukicevic.
Try the last name again.
Vuk Icevik. Vukicevic. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm looking at it and I'm getting a little confused because
me too.
It's Vuk Icevik. BUKICEVIC.
It's like Dimitri.
Dimitri is the first name.
That's spelled a little differently too.
Yeah, it got a J and an E after it.
Yeah, that's
damn, that's tough. That was tough.
Yeah, I told you, man. I found the right
man. How do you be finding these teams, man?
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you what happens. I usually go and look so I looked at Kansas's roster and I'm like, oh, they don't have anybody that's like crazy. And I'm like, I always first look at West Coast teams because I feel like West Coast teams always have kids that are international. They got like a lot of like wild names. So I just go look up West Coast teams first.
Did you read his personal bio, Dimitri's?
No, I didn't get that deep into it.
His mother's name is Lilanya and his father's name is Darko, but his mom's name is spelled LJILJANA, and his father's name is spelled Darko.
Man,
Darko Milicic.
Hey, man. Hey, the last one. I just like the last name. Number 51.
Number 51 is Case. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why
Every
not
time he
get me a
shoots,
bucket,
like, why
baby?
not?
You take a bad shot. Hey, man,
Hey,
why
why
not?
not?
Hey, Case, why not get me a bucket?
I like that last name. The
That's
Big O
tight.
segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. All right, hey, I'll quickly point out my player to watch. I'm going to go with Dylan Mitchell, and I'll keep this plain simple, man. He had 0 points versus Baylor. There's no way that he comes out and has 0 points versus Kansas. There's no way. And Dylan Mitchell has to play at a high level, I think, for this basketball team to be successful, especially moving forward. We're 0-3 in the conference right now. Dylan Mitchell has to look himself in the mirror, along with CMOS, along with Jizzle, some of these other guys, and say, I have to play at a higher level in order for us to go on a run. And this Bearcat basketball team needs to go on a run. So I'm looking for Dylan Mitchell to have a big game. The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or improved accounting control, outgrown QuickBooks, or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help you solve all your problems. They can be contacted at 513-739-9473 or online at smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now, the Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. JT, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Man, I ain't got nothing. No, I'm just playing.
Oh.
Nah, but
I hope you do, because we need to do something.
Nah, for real. All right, so I'm going to go with, honestly, defensive effort and energy. The energy. That energy has to be on 1,000 from tip-off. From tip-off, as soon as jump ball, pause happens, tip-off, pause happens. They have to be on 10. They got to be on, like, just on Ron Artest time. Because, right, you 0-3, you're too good. Like I said, every team has their flaws, but this team is too talented to be 0-3. I know it's a very tough schedule, but Kansas State, we won't get into that right now. They're about to make me like go on a rant, Stephen A. Smith type rant. We don't want to do that. So we're keeping it on par, but I think their energy has to be on point, and they have to be ready to scratch and literally claw for this game. And even if they lose, like I need to see that fight. Even if they lose, they gotta show like they're here. They're better than this, which they know they're better than this, but they have to show like, hey, we're not backing down. I don't care about it's about our name on our jersey, not the name on your jersey. And that's what they got to do. And I got to see that energy, man. I got to see that intensity that they showed the last 13 minutes against Arizona. They got to come out with that energy from the jump. They got, you know what I mean? Like they can't come out lollygagging, just going through the motions. I need them to run. Not going to steal the rest of the thunder, but everything they got to do, they got to be doing it with intensity, with a purpose. And I think that's what that has to happen on Saturday, because that's the key to the game. Because I just didn't like their energy against Baylor. Their Baylor energy, they gotta look at it, and we don't want to see that the rest of the year. Every team's going to have a low game, but just coming in 0-2, you're on the road. It just looked like they were just like, all right, we gotta get back to Cincinnati.
Now, JT, my thought is, and I know Bearcat fans are not happy right now.
Yeah.
Bearcats 0-3. Some of them are complaining on social media, which is understandable. They're fans.
Yep.
They're passionate.
For sure.
However, like Bearcat fans, they will show up on Saturday. They're going to be loud.
Yep.
I think the fans are going to bring the energy. I think the team has to play off of that, JT.
No, for sure. And they got to manufacture it too. So I think they're going to have to come out, and fans are going to be looking in the first couple of minutes like, hey, what are y'all going to do?
Yep.
If Bearcats come out and they play with the energy that I need them to play with, the fans will follow. Because if you out there hustling and going hard like that, putting your body on the line, fans are going to don't do anything stupid and just hurt yourself or anything. But I'm saying, like, if you're going out there, you playing, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm not going out like this. fans will follow suit, and then there'll be something they can carry, even if they do lose. But that's not what we're playing for. We're trying to get that first dub, and every team's beatable. So we've lost a few, and it's time to let's beat Kansas. F it.
Love it. Neil?
Yeah, so keys to the game for Cincinnati is you just simply cannot come out to a slow start. If you come out to a slow start versus a team like Kansas, who is a potential powerhouse NCAA championship potential team, especially at home, if they come out to a slow start like they did versus Arizona, it's going to be a long day. I think everybody kind of knows that aspect. But this Kansas team's so good, but what they haven't experienced is a crowd like Fifth Third Arena. So I think the crowd could play a huge role into that. But for them to win in this one, keys to the game, you can't get out to a slow start. Kansas really struggles on getting to the free throw line for them offensively. So how about you reverse it? You get Kansas into some foul trouble, battle test the depth early, make some free throws, take care of the ball, get your offense going early. I think that's the big thing, because if you can find a way to get them into foul trouble, we saw what was able to happen in the Big 12 tournament when that was able to happen. So when back in March, when Cincinnati was able to really get downhill and attack the rim, it was in a great night for Cincinnati both times, because both times these games were close. And I think that's where Dan Skillings can really come into play in this. We did it well the first two times. You got Kansas in foul trouble. They're able to do it here again, take advantage, make some free throws. I think that's going to be huge. But for Cincinnati, it's confidence. The key to this game is you come out there and you have confidence and you show Kansas what it's like to play at Fifth Third Arena, right? If you can do that, I think this game could be a lot closer than people anticipate. But I know I was filming with a guy from Kansas earlier, and a lot of these Kansas guys are projecting a 8 to 10 point victory in favor of Kansas. So it's going to be interesting to see this. Cincinnati's definitely capable of getting that bounce back win that they are desperately searching for on Saturday. So it could be interesting, but you got to rebound the ball, take care of it, and you just have to do whatever you can to not come out to a slow start on Saturday.
The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Hey, mine's very simple. Just score. Like, find a way to score the basketball. If that's back to the point I made earlier, play at a higher, pace, push the ball a little bit, lob it up, which means there might be some bad shots here and there, which I'm not extremely worried about, but I would be worried, JT, if we slow the basketball down and don't score, then we really start guessing ourselves, right? I'm like, like let's push it, man. Let's get out and get some buckets. Like, I'm a defensive guy. I love talking about defense. I come from that Hugs era, but forget the defense. Score. We have to score. That's all I got. You guys got anything? That's all I got.
Let's go running Rebels, huh? Hey, I'll be happy. That'd be dope. They just come out and score 85, 90 on them. Like, that'd be legit.
Because, man, I get frustrated talking to fans, and the fans have these legitimate complaints about things that I know this team is capable of doing. I'm like, we got the talent, man.
Yep.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So what better game to do it? Let's go out there and beat Kansas's ass, right?
Yeah. They beat Kansas, man. People will be happy.
Oh,
real happy. I mean, because this team's good enough to bounce back. They just gotta start. Like, they gotta plant their flag somewhere, and F it. Kansas gotta be the victim. Like, but they gotta believe. Like now they have to believe. And then when they come in there, because the fans are mad right now, they got a right to be upset. They're showing they showed. Because it's just they went on the road, they lost at home. They didn't give us a full game. They didn't give themselves a full game to kind of build the equity back up in this conference. And then everybody knew that Baylor game was going to be tough, but I didn't expect them to get handled like that. They handled them with like a funeral with the white gloves. You know what I mean? Like,
it was a funeral.
Like, here, you know what I mean? Like, here, take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's the person? And they gave West like the flag, like you know what I mean? But so that's yeah, so that's what happened, man. And in Kansas State, that's what's the one, like that was the one they were supposed to come in there and smack them in the face. So they gotta win at home against Kansas, man. It's not one of those ones where you're just like jumping for joy, you know, with Kansas coming into the building, but F it, you gotta scrap and claw like we've been saying the whole pod.
Yep. Beat Kansas, get your swag, get your confidence back, go on a run.
Yep.
You're moving forward. I'm not going to say people will forget about the 0-3 start, but beat Kansas, go on a little bit of run, people start feeling better about things.
Not for sure.
Right?
Hey, if you beat Kansas, people are going to forget about that 0-3 start. I'm just saying.
I don't think they'll forget about it,
Yeah.
I don't know. Kansas, if you start, despite starting 0-3, if you get a big win versus Kansas, yes, people are still going to be like, okay, we should have won versus Kansas State. But that Kansas win at home will hold significant weight, and this fan base will be rocking again.
But here's the thing. I agree with you from a standpoint that, I mean, beating Kansas obviously will be huge. But if we turn around, if we beat Kansas and turn around, lose to
and then lay a goose egg versus Colorado, yes.
It doesn't mean shit.
Yeah,
right?
It don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
exactly.
Like, yeah.
So we got to beat Kansas and get that confidence, that swag, right, JT, and go on a run.
Yeah, you got to go on a little run because the thing is, with 4 game intervals, all right, if you go 1-3, it's not what everybody wants, but at the same time, okay, you're okay. You got a chance. On 4 looks a little rougher than 1-3. You know what I mean? Then you go on your next 4 intervals. Okay, maybe we go 3-1. All right, let's go 4-0. So now you're in a better spot. But if you go on 4, then if you go 3-1, you're still under 500. So you kind of want to be in that first 8 games. You want to have a chance to be 500, and then spotting 3 games. And I feel like two of them were winnable. Like the Kansas State, I just feel like they just kind of was like, hey, we're a top 20 team. You guys aren't. And that's kind of how I felt about that game personally. And then against Arizona, I thought they were like, okay, we lost. But then it just came out like Arizona just was doing like different things on defense. And I feel like it took them a while to adjust. But they still allowed Arizona to be up 13, you know, at Fifth Third Arena. So it's just like, it's rough, man. The Kansas game will, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you took a shower now, put some deodorant on, right? You know what I mean? But you not, the cologne ain't on. Like, the girls ain't going crazy because they like, hey, you smell okay, but you don't smell like, hey, what's this? Who is this? You know what I mean? You're not the shiny new object. You're like, all right, my man don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Or girl don't stink. Cool. You know what I'm saying? That's the analogy. I don't know if everybody's gonna feel that analogy, but if you took a shower and you put some deodorant on, you ain't put lotion on yet, you ain't put no socks on yet, you just put some lotion on, no cologne, no nothing. You kind of, you know what I'm saying, juices and berries.
JT, we just found our clip. Hey, we found our clip. So for those that are listening, we try to find little clips that we can put out from the pod. That's the clip. All right. Took a shower. Put on some deodorant. No lotion yet. No cologne.
No cologne.
Ain't getting all the girls yet because you don't smell that good.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
That'll be us. Like, cause everybody be happy. Like, all right. Because right now we smell. We done practice.
Did you brush your teeth yet? Did you brush your teeth? Are the teeth brushed?
I don't even know. I think we just out here living foul right now. Like, some people say hi and you just trying to keep your space. Like, dang, bro, like, somebody funky. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's you see right now. And we got to get together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might be walking over to the toothpaste after if we beat Kansas.
What the fuck is going on? I have no idea what Neil's like. I gotta go take a shower, bro. I gotta get right.
This took a terrible turn. We're all like, what the heck right now?
All right, that's our clip. JT, if you don't clip that, I'm not coming on the next pod.
You're gonna boycott.
I'm boycotting. I'm boycotting the pod.
I'm clipping it. It's gonna get clipped. I marked it down. I know where to look.
Please
Hey,
do.
it depends what kind of deodorant we're talking to, though. Like, you putting on the busted old Degree, or you putting on the Old Spice?
Hey, I like the souped up Degree though, for real. The 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have the cologne. We ain't got to the cologne yet. We ain't got to the lotion. We ain't got no lotion. We kind of ashy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if we win against Kansas, we build into like, all right, we starting to get our hygiene together. We start to care about ourselves again.
Okay.
Right.
So I got it figured out. Here's what we do. After every game, we do a hygiene check with JT. Where is this Bearcat team at?
Hey, the hygiene check will be sponsored by the makers and Coke, because that's probably what's in his cup while we're filming tonight.
No, I'll tell you, I'm clean. I'm gonna drink tomorrow though. Like, I've had a clean week. I had a clean week, man. I've been legit. I had a vacation, man. Vacation. And you just be like, damn, I'm chilling. I ain't had to work. So now I'm back on. Got some control.
You got some Patron?
Control.
Oh,
I thought he said Patron too. I was like, dang, he's in for a good weekend then.
No, I'm drinking water. I got water.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I got like some Crystal Light. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I'm out here. I'm out here living pure tonight.
JT is like, I'm doing dry January, baby.
Not the whole January, but I'm doing better though. I'm doing better.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea where we're at in the podcast right now, but the Kenyon segment key to the game was sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hooden on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hooden. Hooden is spelled Hoodin, or come to see Greg at Beachmont Toyota. Always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now, this is the Twyman segment sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. This is where we cover hot topics. And right now, this gentleman that I'm going to bring up has a song out right now, and it has America, maybe the world, in a chokehold. Maybe the world. And the reason I say the world is because...
Wait, Alex, before you start, you got to put your sunglasses on like you're trying to bend the corner and say, whoa.
I don't have my sunglasses with me.
What are the sunglasses, bro?
They're over there. Next podcast, I'll have them on. I got a bucket hat too. I'm gonna wear them with the bucket hat. I'm gonna go all out. Next pod, I'll be sunglasses and bucket hat.
Bet.
Now, this gentleman, I'm gonna say, has the world in a chokehold because sports. Once things happen, I think in the NBA, the NFL, it goes all around the world. I mean, it's just how professional sports is. So we all know the Ball family, Lonzo Ball, Melo Ball, but there's a third Ball family member. I got to make sure I say that right without a pause there.
Yeah, that was good.
Jello Ball.
Jello,
who didn't make it. He didn't make it to the NBA. He's had what?
Oh, he made it, just not to the NBA.
No, I'm saying he didn't make it on an NBA team. He never made it on an NBA team. He's had like workouts or, Did
he get some G League love for a second?
Yeah, some G League. I think he played with Trey Scott for a little bit, if I remember right.
I think that was more entertainment value to sell some G League tickets more than
might have been.
But he released a song recently called Tweaker. And this turned out to be Neil Meyer's favorite song.
I'm a swerve in the corner. Whoa.
The funny thing about the song is, the hook to the song is what everybody's kind of gravitated towards because it has a very kind of early 2000s, like New Orleans rap, feel to it, Juvenile. That whole, don't you agree with that, JT?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely feels like between 03 and 05.
Yeah, definitely early 2000s hip-hop for sure. I don't know if he did that on purpose or that's just how He delivered it, and it was
Yeah.
like, we're gonna roll with it. Who knows? We may never know. But the funny part about it is, and this is this era here with social media. You see video. I see videos every day, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, of people doing the hook. I might swerve. Help me out, Neil.
I might swerve, bend that corner. Whoa.
Hey, JT, he's been practicing that.
Yeah.
That's why I let him take it. He's been practicing that. We've seen it all over. I mean, we've seen, I think did the Lions, did the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, the Lions did it. The Bulls did it. The Timberwolves did it.
Of course, the Bulls are going to do it because Lonzo's on the team. But
I was watching TNT, and it was like on the cuts to break is going on. And they like Inside NBA played it.
Wow.
Like Shaq was, it's a video. Shaq was dancing.
Shaq was going hard to it.
Shaq was dancing.
Man, and JT, you saw it on I guess it was maybe one of the weathermen was.
Yeah, it was a weatherman. I forgot what city it was though. He was like, it was like snow. He was like, yeah, if you. He was like, he
was outside.
He was outside, literally. He was like, yeah, he's like the main streets are fine, but the side streets, you might want to slow down. You might swerve when you hit that corner. Whoa.
I'm like, oh boy,
what's the saying? What's the saying the NBA announcers or the sports announcers have been using when some guy goes and drives the paint? Every time somebody drives the paint nowadays, I feel like I've heard it like 4 or 5 times this week. Oh, there he goes, bending that corner, going whoa, after driving to the paint for a dunk.
It's taken over for sure. Now, but this leads me to, I think, which is the hot topic, and that is, in the past, we've had a lot of ballers want to be rappers. A lot of hoopers, whether it was NBA guys. I don't know how many. I can't remember how many college guys have ever released rap songs. I'm sure they have, but ballers that want to be rappers. And we go back and we look. I mean, I think about Marvin Bagley. He had a song. Lonzo Ball, Jello's brother, had a song. Of course, Shaq and Kobe. JT, who are some of the guys that stick out to you that were ballers that wanted to be rappers?
All right, so AI. Remember, AI had the album. I don't know if it officially dropped. I feel like the NBA might have put like a halt on it or something. But I remember like downloading it when I was in college, like back when you downloaded it.
Definitely, the NBA definitely said this is.
Yeah, because he was out here talking. He was talking raw.
Yeah.
And they kind of was like, nah. He like just had won the MVP too, so it was just like it was too much, too fast. It would slide nowadays though, I think. But all right, so AI. All right, let's see who else. Steven Jackson. He was rapping for a little second, like at the end of his like basketball career for real.
When he saw it was coming to an end.
Yeah, he was doing like, but he's like from Texas, so he was sounding like he could be like a cousin of UGK. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like the person that you get, they might get a feature because like they the homie. Like that's what he was sounding like. And then who else? KD be rapping sometimes. Kevin Durant. I think him and LeBron got a song.
No,
it was before AI.
I swear KD's out there too.
KD has like a couple of songs.
Wait a minute, KD and LeBron have a song together?
I think so. Like I think they recorded it like if it was before AI, like it was before AI, so I kind of believe it. And it was like during a lockout or something. I think they got a song together. No BS.
That can't be good.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? All right, but like the people, like I'll say like my favorites, my favorite rappers that play or hoop, and they're both current guys. So Damian Lillard. I think he's legit. I feel like if he didn't hoop, he could really be like, like J. Cole's brother. You know what I mean? Like that kind of rapper. And then Miles Bridges.
Yeah, I remember he got it. Yeah,
he's legit. He sounds like he be talking like flashy talk. So he's like he's like, all right, who's like a real good Detroit? He's like 42. He doesn't talk his gang. Well, he got some gangster stuff in there. So I'll say he's like a legit tall 42 Doug type rapper, like
Mm-hmm.
You heard 42 Doug, and then like Peasy and them dudes, like he's like a mixture of them, but like he be talking about his lifestyle, and it'd be kind of he can rap for real. Like he just got into some legal troubles, so people probably don't be talking about his rap like that, but he can legit rap. Like he's pretty good. He's kind of got some funny stuff, like, and I like people that can like joke around on the rap style.
Usually, when you have legal troubles, that equals a good rap album, right?
Normally, it used to. At least back in the day, they used to want people to get in legal trouble. Nowadays, I don't know, man. They be trying to smoke on people all the time now, and it's getting the drill stuff is a little bit too much. They gotta tone that back.
Yeah,
they be like, man, they be out here like, I'm in your hood right now. Like, gotta chill, brother.
This is a different podcast, but too many rappers are dying.
Too many, man. Way too many. Yeah,
that's a different podcast. Neil, who are the guys that stick out to you? Ballers that want to be rappers.
Yeah, I think the first one fans are going to be familiar with, but one that hasn't been talked about. How about Lance Stevenson?
I forgot about Lance.
How about Lance Stevenson here?
Man,
I think that's a great one to bring into play on this one.
What's his rap name? Does he have a rap name?
I don't know. Often nicknamed Born Ready.
Born Ready.
Born Ready.
Perfect,
Lance Stevenson is probably at the top of the list. But another one that people really forget about was Lou Williams.
Lou Williams had a rap?
Lou Williams rap?
Yeah, you didn't know
I missed that one.
I missed that one. That was the strip club rap.
It sure was.
He probably was talking that talk too.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Pepper Lou is that
Lou
guy.
Williams up there. Aaron Gordon has
Wait, hold on 1 second. My favorite thing about Lou Williams is when he got busted for like always going to strip club. He's just like, man, they make good food. Like I go there for the food. Like, bro, it's true they have good food. I've heard that. I don't personally know, but I've heard that. But the fact that was his excuse, like,
he said, but it was funny though. Like, hey, like I watched the pod when he was talking about how it happened, and the way he broke it down, it sounded believable. Like it didn't sound crazy. It was a bad choice because of where he went to get the food, of course.
Right.
But it didn't. It legit just sounded like, all right, I'm hungry. I'm going because he went home for a funeral. And he was like, I'm hungry. It's around lunchtime. We'll get some wings. And that's how it happened. But it's still like the optics aren't great. Like you went to a strip club to get wings and your NBA COVID. So I understand, but it don't sound like it didn't seem malicious. Like he could have been like, nah, I'm just about to go see what's shaking.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
People forget about Aaron.
My bad. I didn't know he rapped though. At all.
Who else you got, Neil?
Aaron Gordon. People forget about him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember
Aaron Gordon rap.
He did.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I missed that one. I missed him and Lou.
He was dunking on folks and then giving a bar afterwards.
Nice.
Yep.
Metal World Peace. Forget about him too.
Who?
Metal World Peace.
Oh yeah. I remember Ron Artest
a little bit.
I remember that.
I'm glad I didn't hear it, but
yeah, I listened to it like one of them. I was like, all right, Ron, I can't go.
Doesn't Marcus Smart rap too? Hasn't he tried it?
Oh no, I ain't see that one.
Maybe we should make a list of who doesn't rap.
Yeah, that's like everybody rap for real. When you got enough disposable income, you be like, F it, I'm about to get me a studio.
A good one is Andre Drummond though.
That's right, Andre Drummond.
Drummond, yeah, he do rap. I thought, does he produce music too or something like that?
And it's not really rap, but if you want to get to NBA guys who can sing, Victor Oladipo was on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
No, Victor can sing.
Yeah, he can really sing. Like,
there's a lot of good people out there that you could really put into this consideration.
You know what? Quick story. So one time I went to the Pacers game. This was when Victor Oladipo was playing for the Pacers, and I had an after game pass. And I was in like the Pacers little, they've got like an auxiliary gym where the players go after the game. You can go meet the players, blah, blah. So after the game was over, and I was actually there to see TJ McConnell. I don't know Victor Oladipo. So I'm going to the elevator to leave, and I'm the only one on the elevator, and I hear somebody singing, and they're walking to the elevator, and the elevator door's getting ready to close, and he's like, "Hold, hold, hold," and I hold it, and it was Victor, and he got on the elevator. He was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Oh, snap!" And he was singing before he got on the elevator, and man, that dude like legitimately can sing.
He can sing.
Yeah, he was. I was like, man, but then I was like, oh, it's Victor.
Oh.
Super cool. Hey, super cool dude.
For real, that's what's up.
Yeah, no, he was like real cool.
Yeah, I be liking when I hear stories from dudes be like, the people be cool, like, man, I mean, what you call it? He was asshole. Like, damn, that sucks.
Hey,
you know what I've learned? It's a lot of it is how you approach them in the conversation you have.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, if you hold on, Neil, if you like see somebody that's like famous or super popular, and the first thing you say is, "Hey, let me get an autograph, let me get a picture." It's like, man, like, chill. Like, first of all, have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And just get on like a human level first.
Yep.
And once you get that human level and that appreciation, say, "Hey, would you mind if we grab a pic or something like?" They're more likely. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Nah, 100%, man. Like I used to many moons ago when I worked in the Kenwood Mall, like Chad Johnson would come in there like all the time. So like I forgot what happened. He was like trying to get out of town or whatever because he wanted to get paid more. Everybody was just dumping on him. And I was like, man, Chad is like one of the most like down to earth, coolest dudes you ever meet. Like I used to talk to him about his shoes or whatever, like all the time. And like he used to, my barber used to have a barbershop in downtown over the Rhine. Mm-hmm. And he would just like, I helped him like pick out the shoes or whatever. He like, man, give me like all the good shoes in size 311. Like he would come in there like, I feel like once a quarter, at least I don't know 1 year. And he would be like, he'd get all the shoes, like give me all of them back there. I'm gonna go give them to kids or whatever. But he never had anybody like tell him, like, you know, promote it or whatever. And like I remember one day I went and got a haircut, and my barber was like, tell him who got you those shoes or whatever. Who gave you those shoes? He was like, Chad Johnson. And it was like some shoes that I had gave Chad to buy. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. And like I'd randomly bump into a kid. It was a kid that needed them. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, but anyways, like just talking to him cool, like not being like fanned out, you know what I mean? Just talking to him as a human, and we just was cool people. You know what I'm saying?
If you treat somebody like you get on a human level first.
Yeah.
Usually people are like normal and cool.
Yeah.
That was like out in Vegas this summer for Big 12 Media Days. I got out there a day early, and I was kind of hanging out by the pool, just minding my own business. We're enjoying some adult beverages out there, just kind of hanging out in Vegas. I get in the elevator to go up to my room. It was like, I think it was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. The pool's on the first level. We were staying at the Bellagio. The pool's on the first level. My room was on like the 18th floor or something. I get in the elevator. You know who was in the elevator, Meach? Or who was waiting for the elevator when I came in? Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there and I was having like a small talk. I was wearing a Lakers graphic t-shirt, just a bad timing right there. But we were just small talking. The next thing you know, we got off the elevator. He was like, "Hey man, you want a picture real quick?" So it's just kind of all about how you approach somebody and have those conversations, I feel like.
JT's a super nice guy, man. Very down to earth, man. Real cool, calm guy. Yeah. He's super, super cool. And but like you said, Neil, like it's about having that conversation, kind of getting on the same level. And sometimes with people at a high level, if you can mention someone, maybe you have a mutual person in common.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of eases things.
Yeah.
And that's what you know what I mean? And usually when you meet somebody, it's not that hard to figure that out sometimes. You know, you just got kind of think and have a conversation. But now I'm gonna go with what you said, JT. Dame Lillard, I think, is probably the best baller to rapper, in my opinion.
Yeah, same.
Of all of you. Yours the same?
Yeah, I think so. He can really rap, man. Like he can like rap for real. He's just real good at basketball. Like if he was like a borderline player, like he would be really out here like on the rap scene, like super tough, I think, because he would have more time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he'd be in the studio.
Yeah.
Neil, your favorite?
I don't know. I still like Lance Stevenson, but Dame Dollar is a big one too. So I think
Lance. That's crazy. I forgot about Lance. Man.
Lance or Damian Lillard's the two top for me.
All right. So we've got I guess two Dame Lillards and one Lance Stevenson. Lance would be a great one to get on the pod, man. Have him spit some bars.
That'd be crazy. Have him freestyle.
We'll work on that for Neil.
That'd be dope.
Private segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high-quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre- and post-construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-388-7816 or contacted online at visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Donahue Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, and Visionary Cleaners. But before we get off, I always got to throw something out there real quick. Let's not make this long. I'm going to start with you, JT. Go to you, Neil. Really quickly, did you guys have a chance to see the press conference from Mick Cronin on his UCLA players?
See.
JT, what did you think of that?
Hey.
There's a lot of mixed reviews on that.
Hey, all right. So, I'm literally like 50-50 on it.
Okay.
Like my part, I was like, sometimes you gotta say stuff nowadays, and like I'm pissed. Sometimes you gotta say it. But then like he threw his assistant coaches under the bus.
Oh man.
But like sometimes you gotta call the players out occasionally. I mean, I ain't saying that's not. I mean, depending on how that's a Mick thing. That Mick has always been like, he might call you out. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of been his thing. So you gotta understand that. But so I'm like 50-50, man. I'm gonna get along with it. I'm 50-50. Like depends on. I ain't watched like I don't know how much they lost by. I don't know how they've been really doing this year either. So I don't know if it's been a build up, but I say I'm 50-50 on it. So I'm wishy-washy. I'm like, I can feel it, but then some of the stuff he was saying, I'm like, dang, that's tough.
Okay. Neil?
Yeah, I'm right there where JT is. I'm 50-50 on it. Obviously, some things you want to keep behind closed doors and have those private conversations, but I'm 50-50 on it because nowadays you want to be coached hard, and everybody kind of knows the kind of coach Mick Cronin is. He's going to give it to you straight. He wants the best for you. He's going to give it to you straight. I mean, pause. But he's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you how you want to hear it as a player. I mean, Sean Kilpatrick's a great example of that. I mean, that was a guy who went from a walk-on to an All-American. So, I mean.
He wasn't a walk-on. He walked. No.
He wasn't a walk-on?
He redshirted.
If he was.
Red shirt.
Yeah, red shirt, but still goes from one of those guys who didn't see much time to becoming an All-American. And then you kind of see how this story unfolded. And, I mean, we saw the relationship that Sean Kilpatrick had with him when Mick surprised him out of nowhere on the Hall of Fame induction, which was a pretty cool moment. But it's kind of it was one of those moments where you see what Mick was like in that press conference that's now going viral, but not many people saw what we saw in that moment behind closed doors for his former players or whatnot. So that's where I see it as 50-50.
Meach, what about you?
So I think parts of his actual the content of what he was saying isn't like false. Like there's some things about this generation of players that I think we can all agree on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do. I think he makes some good points. However, I think the delivery was poor.
Yeah.
You know,
I can feel you on that.
The execution of the message was very poor, but I don't think Mick gives a shit.
I don't think so either.
Right? Like, I would have been like, hey, I've got to say this in the press, but I've got to deliver it in a certain way to where, like people understand what I'm trying to say and my frustration, but yet it doesn't come across a certain way. And I think Mick's just like, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna tell you how.
Yeah.
And I respect that. That's his prerogative. But you know, you wonder how like some of those players felt about it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, Neil, I think some stuff does need to stay in house, right? In the locker room, you hash it out there. Somebody made a point online that I think's fair, and that is you recruited all these guys.
Yeah.
These are all your guys. Like,
yeah, true.
If you're angry with all these guys, that's sometimes a function of you.
Yeah.
Right. So effectively, are you criticizing yourself? Because, how do they get to this point?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not because it's not like it's Chino Hills Community College where it's just like you had a pool, like you went and got these young men. So yeah, I feel you on that. So that's why I was like 50-50, because he did have some good points too. Like, you know what I mean? But it's not like that you went to a lot of these homes, or they had a visit, to transfer in. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and like Mick's a smart guy. Mick's very strategic with what he does. So he did that for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So that wasn't something he just randomly said. He just walked to the presser like, I'm about to just go off. Like he premeditated. He thought about it. But this is why, and the reason I brought this up, and I just wanted to kind of keep this short, was I can appreciate Wes Miller because I think Wes does deliver things in a very polished manner. And there are times where you can feel his frustration. I think some people in the media and some of the pressers have asked him questions, and just through how he answered, you could tell he's not happy.
Yeah.
But it's very polished on how he delivers it. And you got to think nowadays with the access that parents, coaches, AU, high school, they have to the press conferences because of social media. They're hearing this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and now in a generation of people transferring out, you do have to be a little careful with that, because people look at that message and be like, oh, hell no. I don't like somebody's mom could be like, I don't like what you said about my baby. He's out,
Yeah.
Which Mick might not care. All right, go then, But I just wanted to bring it up because I do think it was very polarizing, right? Because people, you either sit on one side or the other with it in a lot of ways. It was like, man, you can't say that, man. That's crazy, Mick, blah, blah, blah. And other people like, that needed to be said. That's spot on. So like, we're so like 50, like you were saying, like,
because it's like both ways. Like I see, because like, you lose and you playing, you feel like you got punked. Sometimes you call him out a little bit, but I feel like he said some stuff like Neil, I think, like, he probably should have said in-house. But at the same time, I think he just like, F it. This need to be heard. And he has some valid points. Like, everybody just heard the rant and kind of the bad, like pure bad stuff, but he did have like some valid points. But like you said, he did recruit him. So it's everything's kind of a double-edged sword on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, but Hugs, my coach was very much like that. He would, but I'll tell you the one good thing I think about Hugs, and if Mick did this, I didn't hear it in the press conference. Maybe I missed it in the snippet that I heard.
Yeah.
Hugs would do a really good job of, he would go on and kind of blast us, but he would criticize himself. Hugs would turn around and look, it's on me, man. Like, I got to, it's my job to get these. So he would kind of go off, and Hugs wasn't polished with his, but it was just kind of like, this is how I feel. This is who I am. But then I think at the end of the day, he would wrap it around with, it's my job to get them where they need to be. And next game, we're going to be better. So, college coaching's not easy, man. We can sit
Yeah.
here and criticize everybody we want, but listen, Mick's making a lot of money coaching at one of the most historic universities. His coach did a nice job at the University of Cincinnati, so he's way better coach than I am. But
Yeah.
This day and age, everything you do is going to get a microscope on it.
No, for sure. One click away.
That's right. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at donahueaccountingservice.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.